Welcome to Driveway Garage. Today I'm going to put a new jack on my trailer. It's a 5x8 trailer, but this will hold up to 1,000 pounds. So the reason I'm doing it is I stole the one off of here and put it on a boat trailer that had a broken one, and I sold the boat yesterday. I thought they might want to have a jack on there. So let me show you how to put this thing together real quick. So this is the trailer jack. I got it from Amazon. It's the only one I could find I could get the next day. Everything else was out a week. So you go to Amazon, there's a lot of choices. This is one, as you can see there, that clamps on to the tongue of the trailer. 1,000-pound capacity. I was trying to see if there's some kind of part number I could give you. Just says 1,000-pound Pro Series, but the box is blue. And here's the jack. I've already got it partially assembled. To assemble it, you have to put the wheel on, you have to put the handle on, and you have to put these brackets on. So the wheel, there's a spacer inside. You put the spacer in between here, and then slide the bolt in, and then tighten it up until it clamps down all the way on the spacer, and that gives your wheel room to get this turned out a little bit. Gives your wheel room to turn. Now this is a 3/4 inch nut and bolt there, and I used 3/4 inch on the wheel, 11/16 on the handle, and 9/16 for these bolts that hold it onto the tongue. So I tightened up the wheel first, and I put the handle on. It's just got a bolt that goes through this plastic handle. Tighten her down, and it still spins, so it's good. Now when you put the brackets on the jack, you'll see the spacing on these holes. So the hole that's all by itself is going to be the top, and these other are for adjusting depending on the size of your tongue. And if you put them in the top like this, then you can just set this on top of your tongue and get in the other bolts. It works pretty easy. I remember that, or figured it out yesterday when I took the other one out. All I did was take out the bottom bolts, lift the jack up off of the trailer, put it on the boat, tighten them back up. Everything was good. Let me throw this on the tongue, and then I'll show you what it looks like before I put the bolts in. I put the jack on there, but it won't stay in place until I tighten up those two bolts. It will sit like this when I get done, but right now it's so loose it just wants to fall off. So I'm going to grab my socket and my open-end wrench and tighten that up a little bit so it'll stay there, and then I'll show it to you. Also, I'm using my cordless drill. This is a 3/8 drive impact gun. It works really good for little projects like this, and it makes it a lot faster than just using a regular socket like that. But if you don't have one, you can just do it by hand. Perfectly fine. Okay, so I lied. It won't just set on there. The other one set there when I took it off. This one you have to hold it in place while you put the two bottom bolts on. Now the bolts stick out further than my socket. I had my open-end wrench. Let me show you. My open-end wrench is on the bolt part, and then I use this to drive the nut in. But now the bolt's sticking out so far, it won't work anymore. So what I'm going to do is put the socket on the other side, because it doesn't move, and I'll put the open-end wrench on this side, finish tightening it up. And you just have to position this where you want it. I'm going to scoot mine forward as far as possible, which is where this piece of metal is. But I also put a winch on this trailer when I was loading and unloading my boat. This came in pretty handy. It was a little aluminum boat. But you can put your trailer hitch or your jack anywhere you want, but the further out it is toward the ball, the more leverage you're going to get. So let me go ahead and get this tightened up more, and I'll show it to you. Okay, I got it on there. I haven't tightened it up the final tightness, but it's in place. Now I had to raise it up. I was gonna drop it down so these bolts were laying on the trailer. But when I do that, this stop, and I may have to go up just a hair more, this little piece of metal here that's the stop for the jack. Oh, there, I'll take the pressure off. Maybe it'll work now. There. Now it can go in and out freely. Otherwise it was hitting the side of the tongue. So I raised it up. Now I'm going to tighten it up really good. And I guess that works best because the weight of the trailer is going to be down on there anyway, so it'll make it go down. It's not quite on the bottom of the bolts, but it's close. Now I'm just going to tighten it up really good, and it should stay where it's supposed to stay. Hope this helps somebody out. Just put your socket on the bolt side and your open end wrench or box end wrench on the nut. That way you don't run out of room. It's a pretty easy install. Now this one, just looking at it, it looks a little crooked, which I really don't like, because when you get a lot of weight on it, it's going to have a tendency to want to bend. It's not perpendicular. Anyway, hopefully that doesn't become a problem. If it does, I'll return it. I'm guessing the gap here is a little less than the gap here when they bent the metal and welded it. So now it's on a little bit of an angle. If I have to, I can put a spacer in here, put a couple washers on there, something to kink it back the other direction. Well, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody out. If you got some use out of it, feel free to like the video. And if you want, you can subscribe. I'm always coming out with videos on something. Usually it's on fixing cars. My next project is a 2006 Kia Rio. It was a crank no start issue and an overheating issue. So I'll make some videos on that. Thanks again for watching.